welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for December the 9th through the 15th. What an incredible celestial sky we have this week. A lot is going on, but that's for the astrological report. So if you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you will return. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty, support, and love. Now, these readings are for the collective, guys. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you would like a more tailored, in-depth personal reading, then click on this link here and that will take you to my website and you can take a look at the kind of readings that I offer. Now, these readings are for your sun, moon, and rising. So if you know your sun, moon, and rising, then check out the other readings. All the links will be in the description box below. It'll say show more. You click on that, or if it's on a telephone, it'll have a little arrow pointing down, and that will open up the links to everything. I have a Facebook group, guys, and every 2 weeks I do a live feed in that group, which correlates with the new moon or the full moon. It is a private group, so you just have to click on the link below and request to join, and you'll just have a couple of questions that you have to ask. That's it. So yeah, well, whoever shows up for the live feed, then I look at the horoscopes and their sign and see how you are receiving the energy from the new or the full moon, respectively. So I'll be doing one this week coming up for this full moon in Gemini. So we have lots of fun there. It's really cool. Now, another way to support this channel, other than likes and shares and comments, which I really appreciate, guys, check out my Patreon page right here. I post things on there that I don't post anywhere else, or sometimes I preview them there before I make them public. So you can support me for as little as $1 a month, which is what, $12 a year, which is not a lot, but it's a lot for me. I can do a lot with that. And if you can't, that's fine. Just like, share, comment, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Lastly, these readings come in 3 sections. There's this section, which is the intro. Then there is the astrology report. And then after that is the tarot reading. I have the skip stamp times for each section below, right above, directly above all the links to the other videos. Sometimes that will be there straight away, but sometimes it takes me a minute to get all the links up. So bear with me. I have to upload all the videos first, and then I can put in all the links. So guys, without further ado, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology report section of your reading for December the 9th through the 15th. So gosh, there's so much going on. We start off with Monday, the 9th of December. Mercury moves into Sagittarius. It's going to feel like a breath of fresh air because Mercury has been in Scorpio since October the 3rd. You know, it's been there for over 2 months because of the retrograde. You know, it was just about to come out and then it went retrograde. So it has been a very long journey. And it's in Scorpio, we had to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, you know, and some of us are still shaken up by that, by those revelations. We will go from these deep, intense and detailed oriented thoughts and conversations to the bigger picture, a little bit more scattered and perhaps saying things without much foresight. So we can kind of, you know, there's very little filter between thought and mouth. It's just it just comes out. Mercury moving into Sagittarius is going to lighten the mood. We'll feel lighter, we'll feel more optimistic and more joyous. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, our thinking shifts from this need to dig deep into any given situation or topic to the desire to learn about everything. It's like we want to know everything. We want to learn. So we see this, we want to learn about it. We see that, we want to learn about it. We're like excited about deepening our education or knowledge. So our thinking becomes more optimistic, our faith becomes stronger and increases, and we are more idealistic. We're more concerned with what is fair and what is not. But under this influence, with Mercury in Sagittarius, we may not always make the right choices. Now, Mercury and Sagittarius don't exactly get along. Mercury represents our thought process and intellect, communication, whereas Sagittarius can jump to conclusions, seldom listens, and can be a bit impulsive. This transit can be challenging when it comes to communicating with others. We may be more optimistic and joyful, but we also have a tendency to make decisions based on assumptions, which can cause catastrophic errors in judgment. So be aware of this tendency and slow down. Resist the urge to make decisions before talking it over with trusted friends or family members. Remember, don't assume anything until you have all the facts. Resist the urge to jump to conclusions. Now, Wednesday, December the 11th, Venus conjuncts Saturn in the early hours of the morning. This aspect is challenging for love and finance. Your relationships could go through a lack of connection or lack of emotion. A stable relationship can weather this storm, but if your relationship is on rocky ground or unstable legs, it may not survive. If you meet under this influence, there could be a significant age difference and probably will be based on practical considerations rather than a partnership rather than a love match. This transit can also affect your finances and you could find yourself strapped for cash. So planning ahead might be prudent at this time so that you won't be in this predicament again in the future. Now, Thursday, December the 12th, we have the full moon in Gemini at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's talk about the significance of the number 1212, 1212. This is the 12th month, and on the 12th day, we have the full moon at 12:12. How crazy is that? Well, this is a very significant number in numerology. It represents the highest vibration. It's a connection to the higher self or the light body, spirit guides, and it's the ascended master's frequency. So if you keep seeing this number, like I have been seeing this number a lot over the last few months, particularly, it's more and more frequent for me. You are connecting to that light, or you're being urged to connect to it. It's the new earth awakening vibration. It's that frequency. It's very high. So this is an incredible opportunity. It's almost like a portal has opened up for this because so this is about change. So not only do we have this full moon, and as most of you know, the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. It's actually the sun's light that illuminates the moon. It's the sun feeding the moon, if you like. So the moon is in Gemini and the sun is in Sagittarius. And full moons are about culminations and endings, crescendo coming to, it's change, right? It's endings and beginnings. Gemini is about the intellect. It's about the thought process, the spoken and the written word. It's about books and about learning, right? While Sagittarius is about spirituality, adventure, and higher learning. It's kind of a higher octave of learning. And it's about optimism. Now, at the same time as this full moon, there is a T-square, what we call in astrology a T-square. And that T-square is to Neptune. So that means that Neptune is square to both the sun and the moon. This is a challenging aspect, right? Squares are tension, and they're kind of motivating, if you will. Now, the lowest octave of this energy is the monkey brain, right? That's what will be highlighted, what we call in meditation the monkey brain. It is that unconscious chatter in the background that's constantly going, that's there all the time, and perhaps sometimes we're not conscious half the time. Some of us aren't conscious of it at all, but some of us are awakening and hearing that voice in the back of our heads that is saying, you're not good enough, you'll never do it, you're too old, you're too young, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too ugly, you're too dumb, you'll never make it. Oh, look, see, there you go. You've done it again. It's that kind of energy. And it's that. So the antidote to that is meditation. Meditation quietens the monkey brain. So listen, we may be too idealistic or perhaps even deceptive. That's the lower octave of it. We may be overly sensitive and we may take things personally. This full moon will shed a light on the truth and will bring something from the unconscious into the conscious. Maybe make us aware of what we're thinking and how we feel about ourselves, or how we're allowing this monkey brain to dictate how we feel about ourselves, right? Now, meditation, I always say this, if you've watched me before, meditation isn't about controlling your mind, but it's about not allowing your mind to control you, not dictating our actions according to our monkey brain. The higher octave of this energy is that we connect to higher energies, to that light, that 1-2-1-2 frequency, right? Because the veil between the worlds with Neptune at play becomes very thin. So we are able to communicate with spirit in the ethereal realm. It will empathize with the suffering and the plight of the less fortunate around the world. And it's imperative that we conduct ourselves with honesty, kindness, and integrity, and that we keep a positive mindset. It's like visualize the manifestation of your dreams and wishes, practice that. The energy surrounding us right now is really fast and furious. All the planets are traveling direct and they're picking up speed. So they are going full force. It's like we're on the express train to 2020. So we are manifesting our beliefs at an incredible speed. So it's really important to make sure that you are in the I can and will mindset as opposed to I can't or won't attitude. Now, I haven't finished, guys. There's more. On Friday, December the 13th, Mars trines Neptune. Now, with Mars trining Neptune, your sensitivity and creativity is stimulated. It creates a magnetic, attractive, and sensual charm. which is ideal for romance, you know, inspires a spiritual connection with romantic partners, whether you're in one or you're meeting one. It feels so right. This aspect can also spur an urge to stand up for the underdog or a human rights cause. Anything that you feel is unjust, it's like you will be moved by that. Although this isn't an aggressive energy, it will give you the courage to fight for the rights of people, animals, or the environment based on moral and ethical values. It's very idealistic, but very action oriented. So you want to get up, you want to stand up, you want to do something tangible for what's going on in the world. We're seeing it around the world. People are getting more and more involved in protests. Look what's going on in Hong Kong. Anyway, so also on that day, Venus is conjunct Pluto a couple of hours later, right? What is it? 4 hours later or 3 hours later. So you're going to feel this is kind of energy that's around now. This brings a need. It brings in the need for a deeper and more meaningful connection with your partner, or indeed, if you're single, the longing to fall in love. The desire is so strong that you may manipulate others, even engage in atrocious behavior like stalking or spying on your lover or partner, going through their emails or their phone or their bags or their coat pockets and things like that, and surreptitiously. It's not good. Spying on people, tracking their phones and their computers and things like that. It's really not okay to spy on anyone. It's not. It will actually create the opposite of what you desire. It will push someone away because everyone inevitably gets caught doing that kind of stuff eventually. So it's important to resist the urge to control and allow things to play out, even if the result is not what not to your liking, because karma is attached to this energy, and we must play it with honesty and integrity. We must, come from a higher perspective or a higher energy. If you meet someone during this transit, you could jump in over your head and become infatuated or even obsessed, which can spur the behavior I've just highlighted, So take it slow. Keep your friends in the loop and confess the temptation to manipulate or do anything that's kind of nefarious or underhanded or sneaky, so that they can talk you out of it. Now we move on to December the 15th, Jupiter trine Uranus in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a wonderful energy, guys. Fabulous surprises and wonderful opportunities could pop up out of the blue. Small miracles kind of thing, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, wow. Serendipity encounters with influential people can happen. It's a time to take risks, actually, and push the boundaries, of how far you can go in a good way. It's a lucky day. Actually, it lasts for more than a few days, but it's the most intense on Sunday because that's when the aspect is exact. So what a lovely day to end the week on. So without further ado, let's go to your tarot card reading, shall we? Hello, Leo, and welcome to the tarot card section of your reading for December the 9th through the 15th. This is for Leo. Leo, wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Leo for this coming week? 3 cards for Leo, please. 3 cards. There's 1. 2 more cards for Leo, please. 2 more cards for Leo. There's 2 cards right there. Fabulous. Okay. And let's go to your clarifying cards, shall we? Okay, these are clarifying cards for Leo. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can we give Leo for this coming week? Okay, through these clarifying cards. Please clarify. Oh, oh no, two cards came out. We can do that. Okay. And please clarify. There you go. Huh. And please clarify. There it is. Okay, let's take a look at your card, shall we, Leo? There you go. Okay, the first card out for you is the Queen of Cups, clarified by the Magician and the Two of Pentacles. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles, clarified by the Knight of Cups. Then you have the Nine of Pentacles, clarified by the Ten of Wands. Okay. All right, Leo, the first card out for you is the Queen of Cups. Well, first of all, this is definitely a gift of intuition and psychic abilities. So definitely trust your gut feeling this week. But also, she is this incredible leader who cares about everyone and wants everyone to do well. And so she's there to help people, and sometimes to the detriment of herself. So when she comes into a reading, I always think about that, the oxygen mask that falls down in the airplane, right? So we have to put it on and take care of ourselves before we can help others. And so that's what you're being asked. You need to take care of yourself before you can reach out and help others. Sometimes I know I can do this. Sometimes it's easier for me to help others than to help myself, because then it'll take me away from my I was going to say, it'll take me away from my problems, let's put it that way. And so it's easier for me to help others than to help myself. So sometimes this can be the case, but take care of yourself. And you have two cards clarifying it. One is the Magician. You can create anything that you want. When the Magician comes in, you have the power to do whatever you need to do. And you may not feel it though, but you do. And it's about, acknowledging that you have that power and that you have that ability to do what you want. Maybe you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've got too much to do, and you're kind of getting a little exhausted, right? And a little frayed around the edges. But don't worry, you can do it. Listen, whatever you need to kind of rejuvenate, like, go for a massage, or, a spa day, or, get your feet massaged, something, to whatever it is that relaxes you and makes you feel pampered. Do that, because you have this, magical power, if you will. You can create whatever you have everything. You may not think it, but you do. And you've also got the Two of Pentacles, which is saying there is a lot going on. Leo, you really kind of need to take care of yourself. So I feel that you can do both. You can work really hard, you can help people, and you can also spend some time taking care of yourself. I've just got this image of taking care of yourself is not going out shopping. Maybe that's how you've been doing it, but you really kind of need the massage. You need to feel rejuvenated is what you need. And this is about being really focused. It's also about being a multitasker, right? But if you're at home, be at home. If you're at work, be at work. Don't be at home and on your phone about work, and don't be at work and on your phone about home. It's like when you are at work, be there 100%. When you are at home, be there 100%. Make sure that there's enough of you to go around. And the only way you can do that is by taking care of yourself first. So now the next card is the Knight of Pentacles. He's known as the Green Knight. This is about being grounded. It's about moving forward, but strategically and methodically and slowly and with determination. It's not about wasting your energy. It's not rushing in somewhere and making rash decisions. It's about slowly moving forward. Because you may have that urge to rush in, but don't rush in. Take your time. Really survey what's going on. Nothing is that, what's the word I want to say, dire, that you need to kind of rush in. So you don't want to make any mistakes. It's really about being present again. And you have the Knight of Cups clarifying this, right? So you've got this more intuition, psychic abilities, really tap into your gut feeling. But there's this tendency to kind of want to, get swept away in this feeling of euphoria and love and excitement. So there's definitely that is going on, but you need to kind of slow down. I'm getting that song, slow down, you're moving too fast. You gotta make the morning last, yeah. It's like you want to rush in on your emotions. You want to be rash. You might make a rash decision, or you might have the urge to make a rash decision or do something without thinking. But when you tune into your intuition, your gut's going to tell you, your body will tell you. That will be your guide. But take your time. I'm going to say slow down. And the next card is the Nine of Pentacles. And this is like, you're getting paid, but you're working so hard. There's kind of a cost to this. Like she's got all that she needs, all the riches, right? The abundance. She's built up a life, but she's alone. She's kind of far from home. She's worked so hard that she's kind of not given the time and the attention to her loved ones. So now she's surrounded by opulence and richness, but she's alone. Clarifying it is the Ten of Pentacles. So it's like you've got all these responsibilities. You've taken on way too much work. The big message here is delegate, because you're being held back. You can't go forward. Perhaps, you're going to be stuck in this. I keep seeing a hamster wheel, right? It's like going round and round and round. And yes, you're accumulating wealth, right? But you're really not having the time, or you don't have the time to really enjoy it. That's the problem. That's the problem here. Take care of yourself, pamper yourself. You've got to drop, you've got to delegate, you've got to let other people, let them fall. You need to kind of pass off some of your responsibilities, cut your hours down at work, perhaps, really take some time for you. Because I'm getting that you're just probably, you're so tired from working so hard that you kind of don't do anything. It's like so you're not really, you're existing, you're not living. That's what I'm getting. Leo, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, social media, and comment. I live for comments and feedback, and I always respond. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.